Hey everybody, welcome to the Dungeoncast. I'm Brian.
And I'm William.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything tabletop role-playing games.
And today we are talking about random tables.
1, 2, 3, 4. Shout out to
Welcome, adventurers, to the Dungeoncast.
Hey, Brian.
Hey Will.
How you doing today?
I'm good. Feeling a little random. No, I'm not.
At this
I know what's
table?
going on.
Yeah, so DMing is a lot of work, Brian. I don't know if you knew this.
Yeah, man.
As a GM, you are an arbiter of the game and its rules, a storyteller and a world builder.
Mm-hmm.
You are an improviser, an actor, and a referee all in one. You have to be an architect who maps out dungeons, a flexible writer who interweaves plot with player character actions and decisions, and a game balancer doling out rewards and punishments in a way that your table has agreed to play the game. I love it personally, but sometimes it's exhausting. And it's why DMs and GMs far and wide gather and hoard the tools of their trade that make the whole process just a little smoother, a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the most common of these tools are random tables.
Yeah, I can see how that could be useful. I like being meticulous and plotting out my world detail by detail and having everything ready to go. But you're right. It's all about the kind of time and dedication that you have available to put into it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't just mean extra stuff. You could burn out on being a DM if you want to.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It happens. It does.
Yeah,
It does.
There's an endless amount of things to do. So only do what you're comfortable with and what your players like. For newer DMs, do what you can.
That too. Yeah, that's very true.
Just do what you can. It's a lot, and you're going to put enough details into it where people are going to take away from it. But this is a really great thing, I think, for new DMs to latch onto.
Definitely. And as a DM who also I'm pretty meticulous when it comes to plotting out, whether it's my world or just the plot itself. I tend to draw on random tables for a few key things. But what I like to have them on hand for is when shit goes left, just far left. It's like, well, I have to make up stuff now, and I got these really handy tables that are going to help me out as I do so. But before that, I must say the patrons have voted.
They have voted.
And they are asking us here at the Dungeoncast to go over the use of random tables as a dungeon master. They're the reason we're talking about this. So everyone thank the patrons. I thank the patrons. So,
I also thank you, patrons. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all your support. If you want to become a patron of the show and vote on episode topics that we do monthly, you can go to patreon.com/thedungeoncast, and you get a whole bunch of bonus content, not just our ear.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So when it came to this topic, I was really scratching my head of, I'm not sure how to tackle the vague topic of random tables. So what I decided to do was put together a list of some of my personal favorite go-to tables / generators that I use for my games. I talk about what I use them for, maybe roll up some loot, some encounters, some non-combat encounters, and more on today's episode.
Cool. I can talk about some of mine, but they are like the poor man's, like they're more random than any random table ever.
I mean,
is.
that's awesome. Yeah, let's
so
definitely talk about that.
I'll save mine for the end because they're like way less structure.
Oh, okay.
Way less structure.
I'm very curious.
Yeah,
super curious.
We'll get into it. So stay tuned past the short rest portion of the show.
Mine are definitely, I think, much more traditional for sure.
Sure, yeah. Let's start there. That's a good foothold.
My personal go-to random tables. My first two tables go hand in hand. They are magic item generators / tables. Specifically, though, they are low-level or weak item generators. I find that for the first 5 levels or play or so in 5th edition D&D, loot can be a little less fun to dole out in comparison to previous editions. Remember, I played 4th edition for years before this, and magic items grow on trees in 4th edition.
Right.
By 5th level, you have +1 everything, and you're getting ready for your +2s, and that game goes all the way up to +6s, and it's crazy.
Yeah, but you look crazy all the time because you've got like samurai pants and like a full like a chest plate. That's all like scale
None of it
mail.
matches.
Yeah,
None of it matches.
matches.
But that's what homebrew and hand waving is all about.
That's what realism and fantasy actually means. Is your armor doesn't match.
I like that. More than a single +1 magic item for a single character can screw with game balance pretty severely at the early levels, especially pre-5th level. I also don't necessarily want to shower my players with priceless magic items too early on.
Okay.
So these tables are really awesome when it comes to my personal DM style because they are full of fun, flavorful, and interesting items that are useful but not overly empowering for those first few levels. Real quick, as an aside, we're doing a live play game called Unhallowed, where it's like a gothic horror game set in 5th edition.
Yeah, it's also going to air on Patreon.
It's going to air on Patreon. And you guys just recently kind of came across some of these items that I got from these generators.
Cool.
With a little bit of tweaking
Interesting.
on my end. But I use these tables as inspiration as much as I use them literally.
That's fun. Yeah, you did throw one on mine that was like, it'll be
Something one day.
Yeah, it'll get better, probably. Or different things will happen. You'll see.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Indeed. So now the one thing these generators do is they don't give any of the weapons or item pieces a +1, +2, or +3, and instead give empowering and interesting traits.
Okay.
So the first one's the main one I use. The second one I have is one I've only dabbled with. The name of this generator, it's on a site called lordbinge.net/inspiration.
Okay.
Lord Binge is LORDBYNG.
We're going to have these in the notes below.
Yeah, we'll have the links in the notes. And you'll see right at the top, it's weak magic items for 5th edition. I have been using this table for quite some time. I know it says May 19th of 2022 at top, but it's way older than that.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I know
That's probably where they just
it's been
re-up their
updated.
license or whatever.
Indeed. And this is by username Len. I'm not sure who Len is, but thank you, Len. I've been using this for a long time. It's fantastic.
Shout out to Len.
So this table has over 200 properties that you can generate and attach to weapons. And what's cool here is the properties are
Weapons, armor, and trinkets. It says,
Yes.
are the types of items we have available.
indeed. And you can actually add more than one property. You can add 2 properties to a single item.
Weak and weak.
Yeah, there's only none in weak. Those are your only options.
Yeah, so you can have 2 weak properties or 1 weak property is what that implies, right?
Yeah, indeed. So what we'll do is, rather than me try and explain to you like exactly how this generator works, let's just generate 5 magic items, and we'll do one set with only 1 weak property, and then we'll do a set with 2 weak properties, and you can kind of get a feel for what this generator does.
Okay. Should we roll a D1000?
Um.
Because you can quantity 1 through 1,000, right?
Okay, I can tell.
Oh no, wait.
Yeah.
That's the number of items it's going to generate. You can generate 1,000.
You can
items
generate
right now?
1,000 at a time.
Oh, that's what it meant. I thought it was going to like generate on like one between 1 and 1,000.
No,
like
no.
pick 5 of them. Or okay, I
No.
see. My bad. Let's just generate. Let's do what you said initially, because what I said is crazy talk.
So I have generated 5 magic weapons. Next time we'll do armors next. I have given each of these weapons a single weak magic property. Let's go over them. So the first is the Courser's S-Stock. You know what S-Stock is?
No, I don't. What's that?
It's like a rapier.
Okay,
From
sure.
my understanding. Although this has listed it as a greatsword, so there might be just some generator issues there, some AI issues.
Okay, what is it called again?
Courser's S-Stock. S-Stock is ESTOC. I'm pretty sure an S-Stock is a type of rapier.
Okay,
But
I'm just gonna
maybe-
Google that, because why not?
Yeah, but maybe I'm wrong. Either way, this one is listed as a greatsword, uncommon. The bearer of this weapon can placate and calm any mount not under the influence of a spell or possession.
Oh, cool.
So this weapon gives you influence over mounts, basically.
Oh, I'm familiar with this. This is like a pirate. Yeah, this is a pirate
Yeah,
weapon.
it's
It's
like a
got a
pirate-
really long guard, like thin
Yeah.
guard on it.
So my take on this is this S-Stock's just really big. That's why it's a great sword.
Okay, got it.
Um,
It's like the Goron's knife in Ocarina of Time.
exactly.
Nice, okay.
Next up, we have the Rainbow Whip. Guess what? It's a whip.
Okay.
The bearer of the Rainbow Whip may change the damage type of a spell they cast once per long rest.
Okay. That's
So,
cool.
Useful. It's only once a day, but I mean, it's something. It's better than just a whip.
So the whip is a focus then?
I think that's implied here. It doesn't
Okay.
actually say that, but I think that's implied.
Yeah, you you whip your spell out. Yeah.
Next up, we have the Southern Great Axe. What do you think the Southern Great Axe is like, Brian?
The Southern Great Axe
Is it comforting? Is it?
it's a big piece of fried chicken on a stick.
Hell yeah, it is. So this is uncommon Great Axe. This bearer gains a +1 to dexterity saving throws. So something useful. something that you do have to keep track of, the little +1s and +2s to random stats, but it's not too cumbersome. And again, these are the type of things you're going to receive before you start getting these much bigger +1, +2 weapons, right? So here's your Southern Great Axe. Next,
yeah, it says thank you after it slices you.
Absolutely.
Or you're welcome.
Bless your heart.
Yeah. So nice. Why did I go British?
Hey, the British has a South.
It's so nice of you to come out and take part in this combat with me.
Absolutely. I love it. Next up, we have the Blessed Tomahawk.
Okay.
Whenever the bearer of this item receives a magical healing from a spell on the cleric spell list, they gain an additional amount of hit points equal to their wisdom skill. Or, excuse me, religion skill. It's wisdom religion skill.
Okay.
So this would be, of course, handy to someone who is proficient in... You wouldn't hand this to your rogue who hates God, but...
Yeah, okay.
You would hand this to, I don't know, your cleric, or your paladin.
I'm on the fence about this item.
Okay, well, here's the cool thing about it is it's passive. You never have to throw this tomahawk.
That's true.
You get this extra healing just by having it on your belt.
Oh yeah, it's all good. I'm
Yeah.
sure the description and like what the item does is fine. I just don't know about it. What do we got next?
Next week, I love that this one's last because it's got quite the name. The Victorious Halberd.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Whenever the bearer kills a creature with this weapon, they gain temporary hit points equal to the creature's CR.
All right.
So you kill a big bad, I don't know, plus 5 CR creature, you get 5 temporary hit points.
That's cool. So you have to be the one that gets the KO with it.
Yeah, you do have to get the kill shot for sure.
Wait, I'm doing something. Everybody stop.
Exactly.
Oh,
So real quick before we do the next round here with the double the weak properties, how are you feeling about these benefits, these properties?
yeah, they don't sound like super crazy. They sound cool. Like, oh, sweet, my little niche thing is gonna kick in,
Right.
and it's gonna be tasty, and like that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
like 4 HP like gained is cool. That's really good.
Yeah, it's
at the end of
nothing.
the combat, it's like surprisingly well designed. For a random table generator. So I like
Agreed.
it. I like it.
All right, so we're gonna do armor next, but this armor we're gonna give each of these pieces of armor 2 properties.
Okay. Oh, I did armor, but
You want to do it? Go ahead.
Yeah, I only gave it 1 property, so let me
Yeah,
give
do it
2.
again with those 2.
And you want to do 5 again?
Yeah, do 5 again.
Okay. We got the bloodthirsty hide armor of truth.
Fuck yes. Tell me about the bloodthirsty hard armor of truth.
This is fucking metal. The bearer can expend a hit die to turn this into a +1 armor for a number of turns equal to their roll on that die. The bearer may cast True Strike once per day, notoriously known as the game's worst cantrip.
It's not good.
It is borderline
The second part of
useless.
this sucks, but the first part of this was great.
Yeah.
The bloodthirsty part, I love it.
Yeah.
The truth,
They want you to get. I mean, it's kind of the flavor of it's kind of cool, and on paper it doesn't look so bad. Application of this cantrip is terrible.
I gotta relook at it because I always remember that I hate it, but I can never remember the
You
details
gotta
about it.
point at somebody. You use your action to point at somebody and get advantage on your next attack. So it's only good to me in like
If you
a
can't
sneak
reach them this turn,
Yeah, in a sneak situation.
Okay. Well, once a day. That's all. That's the most you'll ever need it,
Yeah, I guess so.
and it's better than nothing.
It is. I mean, like it's extra stuff, right?
Yeah,
Extra stuff
it's-
is cool. Next, we have the Forgiven studded leather armor of lies.
Oh wow!
These are
Truth
cool.
and lies.
So let's see. Yeah,
Say it again. It's the what?
the Forgiven studded
Forgiven?
leather armor of lies.
Tell me about it.
So it's a liar. It's lying armor that's been forgiven.
It's
Let's-
forgiven
let's
for
read-
its lies.
I think let's read and find out. So it's armor studded leather, uncommon, requires attunement when on the plane of Mount Celestia.
Oh, that's very specific.
Okay, the bearer of this item can receive the benefits of blessed beneficence, regardless of their alignment.
I'm pulling up the spell.
Yeah, blessed beneficence, I think is how you say that. The bearer cannot be magically compelled to speak the truth while wearing this armor. So you can lie a bunch if you're on Mount Celestia.
No, the lie part's not beholden to that because it's a second property.
The bear. Oh, wait, what? The bear cannot. It says the bear cannot be magically compelled to speak the truth while wearing this armor. Okay,
Yeah, it's
so
a separate thing.
but you can lie.
Yeah, zone of truth. will not work on you while you wear the armor of lies.
That's strange.
But because it's been forgiven for its lies, it gets some extra juice on Mount Celestia.
Okay, cool. Like just in the context of this, where we're talking about generating items for low level parties,
I know
saying that
that's
it's
true.
you're on Mount Celestia is kind of funny.
That is very funny. That's very true. All right, what's the next
It's
one?
a great name. Invisible hide armor of the Conjurer.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess that the invisible part is like when you wear this armor, people can't see it. The armor itself is invisible.
Once worn, this armor turns invisible, although not the wearer. The bearer may cast Prestidigitation once per day.
Okay, that's fun.
And then Shadowbound Breastplate of Translucence. The bearer knows the general direction to the closest shadow crossing within a 60-mile radius. They have advantage on saving throws versus Shadowfell Despair. That's on the DMG page 5152.
It's very nice. If you're going there, that's nice to have.
The bearer gains an extra level 1 spell slot, which recovers only after full moon rises. That's cool. So now we got to track the moon, huh?
So that's an extra level spell once every 28 days.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that's cool.
It's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing.
That's definitely
kind of weak.
kind of weak. Yeah.
And then we have
Even when you got 2.
and then for our 5th one, we have Waterborne Half Plate of Manipulation.
Oh boy.
This armor floats. Its bearer has advantage on strength, athletics checks to swim. The bearer may cast Mage Hand once per day. Okay. It's kind of random.
So when I use this table, I very, very rarely actually completely lift something out of it. What I'll do is I'll end up generating a bunch and just, I like that property for this specific thing. Or I like this property for this specific thing. Let me put those two together, or let me tweak it just slightly. So this is more of an inspiration table for me.
Yeah, I'm definitely like, this would be cooler if this.
Yes,
and then
exactly.
I'll do that.
But what's really cool here is you can actually click at the top here, random tables, and it has a list of all 200 possible properties that they have come up with for this generator.
Oh, nice. So you can just pick and choose what you want.
So, and I've done that before, but I do like the fun of randomly generating it and going from there.
Yeah.
But I've done both, and they're both very useful.
I did 5 trinkets. You want to do them?
Yeah, let's do 5 trinkets.
I just picked one at properties.
Totally fine.
Kind of skip through it. Ritual Medallion. Whenever the bearer casts a spell as a ritual, they have advantage to maintain concentration during that ritual. So for an hour.
That's great. That's cool.
Etherbound Ring. The bearer can see creatures in the border ethereal that overlap with their plane as clearly as if they were fully in the bearer's plane. Such creatures appear as apparitions or ghosts. Very cool item. That is very cool story
very
stuff.
Useful.
Druid's Helm. The bearer gains a +1 bonus to intelligence nature checks. Sojourner's Amulet. A poem, story, or map that describes a long-forgotten treasure is etched on the surface of the item. Tracker's Boots. The bearer gains a +1 to wisdom survival checks. That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I like the little +1s to a skill, you know? They're cool.
It's hard to keep track of that shit.
Yeah, that's why you don't give too many of these out.
Yeah.
But
you get messy.
1 or 2 here for each character, I think it's fine.
Yeah, like, hey, you're doing a swim. Remember that armor that disappeared on your body? It floats.
Oh, you know, here on the random tables page at the top, it says August 2015. So that's how long it's been around.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Because I was like, I know it's been out for years. And the full name of the creator, Len Pelletier. Len Pelletier. Thank you, Len Pelletier.
Thank you, Len.
All right. So the next table I have, it's called the D100 Clockwork's Big List of Low-Level Magic Items. You can find this on GM Binder. Again, we will put the link in the description. Trying to find the name of the creator here. Author, Dr. Clockwork. So that makes me think that this probably came originally from a Reddit user named Dr. Clockwork.
Okay.
So thank you, Dr. Clockwork. I've been using your table here for about 6 months or so. I've only used it twice, but it's really cool.
Rest in peace, Reddit.
Let's see. I know. Let's see what you think of it, Brian. Let's roll 3 D100s and see what we get.
Okay. Here comes the first one coming down the chute. We got a 76.
76 is the Tome of Pseudo Magic. Tome or grimoire bound in leather and several years old. Once per day, it can be used to create a false publication that will back up the user's claims. A DC 15 relative ability check is needed to see through its bullshit.
Oh, it says bullshit with 2 T's.
It says bullshit with 2 T's.
Bullshit.
I love it.
All right.
Yeah, no, I love that item. That's great to give to a bard.
Hell yeah, it would be.
What do we got?
I got a 62.
62. Bottomless mug. A masterwork stone mug, all crafts dwarfship, is the highest quality. Despite being normal size, it can hold 10 gallons or 40 liters of liquid. That's a fun one.
Yeah. Extra
That's
drank.
Give to your stereotypically drunkard dwarf and let him just run with it.
Yeah, have a cool desert campaign where you have like this broken drinking item,
Yeah, there we go. I like that.
like by accident, because one of your players is a fucking alcoholic. 94.
94. You're rolling
on all
high.
three.
Weapon of Eternal Forge, a mystical glowing short sword of unusual property. Functions as a -1 sword for all attacks and damage rolls. Breaks entirely on natural ones. Mends itself in 1 day, though. Sword appears to be attempting to reforge itself constantly through magic due to the creator being convinced the magic will work itself out eventually.
Nice. Cool.
That's great, because if you're the DM and you want to introduce this to your game, like you can have some sort of like lore reason, maybe something to do with the plane of fire, or some angel who smithed a sword but wasn't able to finish it, and then you can have some sort of culmination where the blade comes to fruition.
Right. So far what I'm getting for these is when you do like a side quest and help somebody and they want to repay you, and they have this like old heirloom of this thing their grandpa found on a trail one time, like they hand it to you. Or if you get to the bottom of a dungeon and there's like some random like dead guy, and he's got like what's he still got on him, it's like, oh, this unsuspecting ring no one's picked off of him yet, or whatever. Or just something like that. It's nothing too consequential, but cool and like useful in limited ways, like random aesthetic sort of vibe.
Yeah, these tables are I definitely use for that as well. The main difference between these two is the first one, I feel that there's a lot of like real straightforward utility with a lot of them, even though there's a little bit of humor going on. With this other one, there seems to be a lot more character to these items, and it's really good if you want to introduce just some new bit of like lore you didn't plan on implementing, but now that this thing exists, you have to account for it.
Yeah.
And that's always fun too. All right, so moving on. My next personal favorite random table is used in the interest of not keeping my players slogged in combat after combat. Usually I use this one or ones that I've seen that are like it when I need to fill some travel time between main locations with something other than nothing important happens or some monster/bandits attack. It's a non-combat encounter table. So this is the most recent one I've been using. I used to have one that used to be on Reddit that I lost like a year and a half ago. This one's still good. The other one's better though, and I could not re-find it. It's been a long time, but this one is pretty good, and it's another D100, and it's kind of separated into multiple categories. This one comes from user TwizTurtle on D&D Beyond forums. Want to go ahead and roll D100 and see what non-combat situation we put our players in.
You know I do. Let's see here. We got an 8.
Oh shit. Okay, okay. So we have here options or non-combat encounters 3 through 10 are all under the category of omens.
Yes.
So we've rolled an omen. The earth shakes briefly. Just you're rolling through from town A to town B. Ground just shakes briefly.
Oh,
now
shit, small earthquake.
it's something small to throw to your players that they can pursue, which they almost definitely will, because I'm sorry if I'm a player in a game and the earth briefly shakes and like I roll some nature checks and it wasn't natural, like I'm going to be on that for a while.
Oh yeah, that is cool. Like from our perspective as Southern Californians, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, that happens. That's so true. That's actually very true.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, if I roll, that's how the game works. I could roll to see if it was natural or not.
Yeah.
I wonder how you'd explain that. Like, how do you know if an earthquake is natural or not as an adventurer, like walking around in the woods?
I wouldn't just give it to anybody. It would have to be either a ranger or a druid, and I'm leaning more druid, because a druid can what's the word, like,
tune in
with the spirits
grass
and be like, oh shit, like the spirits are upset, this isn't natural.
Hold on a second, I gotta go ask the grass.
Well,
what's up, grass? Tell me your secrets.
What's up? While the ranger it could be more like a regional thing of like earthquakes are actually really rare in this area.
Sure,
I mean, it's not impossible that it was natural, but it does seem odd.
That sounds like an 11 on the dice to me.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
described.
There we go.
But also like just enough to know like weird. That's a weird one.
Yeah, you're
Flag,
scratching.
it's still flagged.
Yeah,
Still flagged.
exactly.
What about the way in which the earth shakes? We're used to a very traditional sort of back and forth kind of vibe. What
That's
about like
true.
an up and down sort of thing? You know? What if the
What would that feel like?
What if the earth does the fucking wave, like a ripple comes out, like a literal wave of water? You know what I mean?
You know, the line is very vague. It just says it shakes briefly. It could do any of the things that you said right now, but it's just brief.
Yeah, see, that's where my brain, when I get hit with some random shit, like I can spit like a bunch of stuff off of that. So this is very useful.
But yeah,
Earth fucking
like a
shakes.
sea wave, the earth ripples.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, that's anybody's gonna be like, so. And the thing is, you as a DM, now that because here's the thing is like, you got the social contract. If you are introducing random tables to your game, well, then you're beholden to honoring those tables when the shit gets rolled. So now
Yes.
you have to come up with something for this.
yes. Be careful.
Be careful, but also have fun. You know, I've been running games now that are like for shows that need like a coherent plot for a while now. And one of the cool things about the casual games is as long as everyone's game for it, you don't have to do that at all. Shit just can get wild and you can have fun with it.
You can also like burn time doing like random stuff that isn't as story centric. That's lots of fun.
Yeah.
Like the earth shakes. It wasn't just the earth though. There was like a vacuum effect in the air where like a bunch of air looked like it got sucked in and then pushed out really fast, you know, like a troll fart. It's a local troll just fucking gassed out.
All right, let's roll the D100 again. We'll just do one more.
All right, uno mas.
What do we got?
We got a 46.
All right, 46. So
No, sorry, just 40.
just 40.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's say 46. Oh, it doesn't matter because guess what? 31 through 40 are merchants. That's weird. So the designator down here is way down here. Excuse me. So you said 40, right?
Yeah.
So Bugcatcher DC 15 nature check reveals a Cartomoth that will show them a shortcut if released. What is a Cartomoth?
Googling
I've
it.
never rolled this one. I've only used this table like 5 times.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's like a butterfly sort of, I think.
So this Bugcatcher
Or
that
a
you ran
moth.
into has a Cartomoth or
Yeah,
butterfly.
Moths look like butterflies when they're like
Sure.
colored this way that I'm looking at. I
So this
guess.
Bugcatcher has a special moth that is sentient enough to, on a DC 15 nature check, let you know it wants to be set freed, and it will do something for you if you do so, which this Bugcatcher probably does not want you to do.
He probably wants to keep that shit.
He's a Bugcatcher.
He caught that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
He wants it for stuff.
So not only do you have the weirdness of meeting a Bugcatcher on the road, which is not something I've ever had my players do. So that's definitely something unique and different.
Yeah. You can randomly generate gender too. You don't have to assume male gender like we just did.
Sorry, yeah, that's very true. That's absolutely. This genderless Bugcatcher
Yeah.
with a sentient moth that wishes to be released will show you a shortcut to whatever is pertinent. So here's the thing. Not only do we have this Bugcatcher, which is a unique situation,
Yeah.
we have the unique situation of a sentient moth. And then this sentient moth knows a shortcut that is tied into the plot of your game. That is a lot for you to work with as a dungeon master, but it's also a lot for you to be like, oh,
It's
shit.
a lot to do right on the fly.
On the fly,
you know?
yeah. Yeah.
Ah.
Damn it.
Yeah. So now, because this could blow up in your face a little bit if you're not careful, right? Like, okay, now I have to like flesh out an NPC right here, right now. Like, who is this person?
Two NPCs in a way.
And then yes, this second like pseudo NPC, like, you know, that one's a little easier. You know, you're a moth. Like I guess not. Like you got to decide right there how limited in scope you're going to be as a moth. Like is moth caveman speak or is moth like real advanced? Like, you know, This is a supernatural creature.
Yeah, because it can communicate
Of
on
some
a
kind.
DC 15 nature check,
I would think so.
which is high. DC 15 is high, but
So
it's
what,
also
it's-
not like an 18 or a 20.
It's
you know?
doing like moth body language. It's doing like wing
What
dances.
if
like
it's
birds
doing
would do.
like a Morse code with its spots on its
Oh
wings?
yeah. It's either telling us that we have to go into the woods and find another bug to replace it, or to eat a dick. I'm not sure.
It's unclear.
It's one or the other.
It's using a different Morse dialect.
Moth's code.
Moth's code. This table's growing on me. Did you want to roll another? Or are we moving on?
Let's do one more since we're having a good time, right?
Yeah.
How about a 98? Wow.
Holy shit. So 98 is pretty low down.
Yeah, it's near the bottom.
Doesn't
two spots.
A stranger on the road tells each PC to repent their sins, and he knows the details.
He knows what you did.
Holy shit. Okay. Well, that's fun.
I see the stains on your clothes.
Yeah.
Adventures.
And this could be a fun one where you actually like include the players and be like, all right, guys, let's talk about like what was your character's greatest sin? Like, let's decide that now.
It's a bard party. They're fresh out of the orgy. They've got all kinds of unsanitary things. They haven't had the chance to find the river. They've still got satyr fur all over them. This guy knows.
This guy knows.
This guy knows.
So, you decide what the character's greatest sins are, and this dude knows the details, and he's saying for them to repent to who? To which god? To all the gods? To his particular deity that he's come, like, representing? Like, this is all stuff you have to decide on the fly, but that's fun stuff.
Yeah. A stranger on the road. They could be anybody.
They could be anybody.
They could be
a god in disguise.
They could be Bahamut.
Yep. Doing Bahamut stuff.
He's doing one-handed push-ups on a tree stump, and he's like, I saw what you did.
I know.
You walk by, he's like, I saw. Can't hide from me.
All right. Let's move on. One more before the short rest.
Oh, okay. Another table, or one more roll of the D100?
One more D100.
Okay.
You've changed my mind. Let's do it.
All right. 22.
22. Okay. We're going back to the top. This one falls under the bards.
Deuce.
So you run into a bard, and this bard offers to play a song of rest.
Any debuffs?
Yeah, any debuffs, I think in this case would be like conditions.
Yeah,
any conditions are
not
curses. I think are too strong. This bard's not doing that, but it's like a free pseudo heal, and you make a new friend because obviously this person is going to get in your good graces for doing this, and if they're going the same direction, why wouldn't you travel with them? And then you find out it was all a ruse because they're actually here to steal your shit.
It's interesting that it's called Song of Rest and doesn't do what Song of Rest does.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
So
I think
kind
it's
of
supposed to be Song of Rejuvenation. There
Song of Buffs.
Song of Buffs. Song of Rebuff.
Song of Rebuff.
Lose any of your debuffs.
So where's all you guys' buff?
You guys need more buff.
You want to hear a song? I think
I got a song.
I got the perfect song for this. Everybody sit down.
Sit the fuck down
right now. No, you cannot stand. No, you cannot stand. I said no. Sit down. You need to get your buff back. You guys look awful. Terrible.
Let's take a short rest.
All right. We've returned.
Indeed, we have.
We're fucking back.
Indeed, we are.
We're back at it again, getting so random up in here in this episode. You never know what you're gonna get. The Dungeoncast. Is that right, Will?
Absolutely.
If you want to support this show, even farther than you already have by listening, you can go to patreon.com/thedungeoncast, where the adventure can continue. It can show up early, and there could be different kinds of stuff.
Indeed.
Of those adventures.
True.
Yeah.
Whole live plays.
Yeah. Whole live plays, episode notes. You can get these episodes early and ad-free. You can get merch. There's all kinds of stuff on there. You should really go to patreon.com/dungeoncast and unburden me by having to tell you about all the trove, the absolute hoard of stuff that is there waiting for you. And you can vote on episode topics like the patrons did on this one.
Yep.
This episode is happening because of patrons.
Yep. They suggested and then they voted.
Yep. It's a very fair process.
I think so.
All right. Well, you have more random shit for me.
I do. So this next table, or generator really, is one I use for almost any session that I'm prepping for. It is called Kobold Fight Club.
Neat.
And it has two main purposes. One, it is an encounter builder. You can filter through a ton of monsters from first and third party sources here by CR, native environment, creature type, and more. You can put them up against a party that matches your party level / makeup, and it will do the math on how challenging the fight should be, on paper at least.
Got it.
This is my main use for Kobold Fight Club. I use it for balancing stuff.
Okay.
And usually I'm just trying to make things really deadly because it's the only way that it's a decent enough challenge for you guys.
I see. Yeah.
And what's cool is there's even designators. So like something might be really deadly, right? But then it will have some qualifiers saying like feels deadly or feels really, really deadly or feels, like extremely, death is imminent or whatever. It has different designators. And so I try and hit that feels really deadly.
Guys, does that combat feel really deadly or really, really deadly? Because I'm leaning to the latter.
I mean,
gauging on my 5
you
hit
can't quote
points.
me exactly, but it's somewhere in there. Or it might be like, let me actually pull up the generator so I'm not actually making stuff up. So it might be hard. It might be a hard fight.
Okay.
But it will feel deadly. So meaning that's somewhere in between the two. And I think it's cool that it has that little designator.
Okay.
The second use is very related in that it can also randomly generate encounters for you with all those same filters and more. This is useful in a game when you actually need a random encounter rolled on the spot, or as a tool to give you inspiration on what kinds of encounters you can cook up ahead of time for your adventure. So that's kind of the thing I want to use it for because, that's actually pertinent to the topic is rolling up a random encounter.
Okay.
So let me clear this current encounter. And what's cool is you can even do things like roll an encounter that has a boss with minions, or roll an encounter that's duo monsters or trio monsters, or a horde of monsters.
I like that.
And then there's also just the random. So what do you want to roll up right now?
Give me boss with minions.
Boss with minions, and what? How many players and what level?
4 players at level 7.
At level 7. Okay.
So hopefully it spits out something kind of interesting.
Yeah, and then let me mess with the filters here because I don't want any third party sources. Even though I use third party sources, not everyone does, and not everyone has access to that stuff. So I just want to keep it.
This interface does look kind of similar to the D&D Beyond one, the encounter builder there, but like I don't know, use something else that isn't owned by Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, well, I recommend anything by Kobold Press because their monsters have a lot more bite. And I like it. All right, so here we go. Using only first party sources. A hard which do we want? Easy, medium, hard, or deadly?
Make it hard.
Okay, hard encounter, boss with minions, generate encounter. So we have what is that?
What are those?
Number one, we have 6 rust monsters as the minions.
Okay, those are scary in their own way.
Yeah, indeed. And they are their CR is only half, but yeah, they have the ability to fuck your weapons and armor up.
Yeah.
And then leading them is a NPC creature from Horde of the Dragon Queen, which I probably should have discounted because not everyone has all the adventure modules, but we're going to look up who this person is real quick. Their name, is Langdedrosa Cyanwrath. Does this ring a bell, Brian?
Nope. You know what? The more I try adventure modules, the less I like them.
Well, Langdedrosa, I'm not an adventure module person myself. Langdedrosa Cyanwrath is a half-blue dragon, a member of the reformed cult of the dragon. So they're a half dragon. It looks like they're a blue half dragon, or a half blue dragon, or a half dragon blue.
One of those.
And they are a CR4 creature. This is a medium difficulty, feels hard. So this isn't actually a hard difficulty, which I have to agree that like the CR4 boss isn't against a level 7 players isn't the most hard hitting.
Yeah, one rogue dude is not going to do it. So the feels hard must mean like high AC, low HP.
So what it
like low damage
well,
out?
what I think it means is that like so the way that an encounter is gauged as easy, medium, hard, or deadly is based on the amount of XP the encounter has.
Okay.
So this encounter technically only has enough XP to qualify as medium, but I think here it's because of the number of creatures you're pitting in here, 6 rust monsters, plus with that special effect, they feel like this feels hard.
Yeah, maybe my
rather
weapons
than
are
medium.
breaking, and now I got to punch this person to death.
Exactly. So let's do another one. Give me some more parameters.
Give me 3 level 9 players and make it deadly.
3 level 9, and did we want to do the boss and minions, or did we want to do something else?
Is there just boss? Let's see.
Let's see. There is just boss.
Let's do that.
Boss. Here we go. I'm clearing the encounter, and I'm generating a new one. Vanifer. This is a like a boss NPC from Princes of the Apocalypse. I believe they're a tiefling. I'm gonna look them up real quick. But usually they have minions. Vanifer. D&D 5e. So Vanifer.
Yeah, maybe you killed all the minions in the last room.
Yeah, Vanifer is or was the prophet of fire and leader of the cult of the eternal flame.
Okay, yeah.
An extremely manipulative person, gathering allies as she needed them and discarding them as soon as they lost their usefulness. Though she put on the airs of a rich noble, she despised those born with wealth. She had a magical dagger known as Tinder Strike. So she's just like she feels like another level 9 fighting 3 level 9s, which I don't know if that qualifies as a boss fight.
Yeah, if you get like legendary actions or something like that, or extra actions somehow, then you can sort of do more with it and like have it be a little more fair.
Yeah, I think so.
Like something else. Like what makes them special? What makes this person good enough to take on 3 people at once?
Right. I'm disabling the adventure modules because I want something that everyone can be familiar with.
Yeah, something more generic because
let's-
it's spitting out a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
Why don't we do a mob? We haven't done a mob yet.
We've not done a mob.
Like a low level mob.
So a horde.
Yeah.
And you want to do level, what's the party?
4 level 4.
4 level 4s. Let's make this a hard encounter. And we're going to clear, generate. This is 3 bullywugs, 7 scorpions, and 8 owls.
All right.
They're working in tandem. Oh my god! Why are the owls and scorpions teamed up?
Yeah, the owls are carrying the scorpions. It's like a wave attack.
I just pictured 3 bullywugs. Each of them has like a cage on a stick, and inside the cage are the 8 owls. 7 of which each has a scorpion in his claws, and then they just unleash them, and it's just chaos.
Yeah. And then the owls swing back around. The bullywugs attack you while you're distracted by the scorpions.
Okay, I just made
spears.
I just generated another one. 3 swarms of bats plus 9 octopuses and 10 weasels.
That's a lot of fun. I would never make a combat like that. That sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. All right, no hordes. I'm done with hordes.
Weasels will fuck you up though in the wild.
They're
animalistic.
Dude,
and-
most animals will fuck you up.
Yeah. it's true.
Most animals would fuck us up. All right. I'm going with.
I mean, not if I was adventuring and like in shape and I had armor on.
That's true. That's valid.
And
We
a
are not
sword.
adventurers.
Yeah, I could probably handle some stuff.
Um.
I'm not one of those dudes that thinks he can fight a bear.
So I think like the way you would justify this hodgepodge of bats, octopuses, and weasels is that you broke into the what would you call it? Like where they keep the animals for ritual sacrifice
Oh my
at
god.
Cult HQ, right?
Yeah.
And you break in and the monsters, these animals, these are just animals. These animals go into frenzy, and they start, breaking forth because they want to break free.
Yeah.
And you're next thing you know, you're pulling octopuses off your friends. Bats are biting your eyes.
I would give all the octopi each 8 crossbows.
Oh no, well, right now they're CR0. You give them 8 crossbows, they're CR4 for sure.
Yeah, if I generated that, we're cutting everything. We're giving the octopi crossbows, and we're calling them glocktopi.
Glocktopi. All right, we're gonna do a deadly boss of minions for 4 level 6 characters. Again, I've discounted all the adventure modules, so this should all be very recognizable creatures. All right, we have a beholder zombie boss. That's
Okay.
a good one, with a goblin boss and these, I forget what they're called. I forget what they are exactly. I'll look them up, but we have 2 goblin bosses, a beholder zombie, and 6 of these creatures called the Wretched. And these creatures, I believe, are tied to the Shadowfell.
Oh yeah, they're like bad dinosaurs. They like
are we
walk
thinking
on
of the
2
same
velociraptor legs and have just like a
Oh
mouth.
God, yeah. Oh, truly wretched. Yeah, these
They look
are.
like the Langoliers.
They're like, yeah, they look like Langoliers with legs.
Sorta, yeah.
Legoliers.
Let's draw Orlando Bloom's like features onto them, and then they can be Lego Laws. Lego Law.
That's so stupid.
We don't need AI. I can do it.
It's so true. Okay, so the way I justify this is we have a beholder zombie or an undead beholder boss. The 2 goblin bosses that are their direct underlings. So this beholder's probably invaded like a goblin den.
Okay.
And he's probably forced the goblins to do these weird flesh monster experiments to create these things called the Wretched.
Okay.
And you have, number one, these Wretched have been roaming the forest and terrorizing villages, and you guys have tracked it all here, and now it's time to wipe out the creature behind it all.
Yeah, they tried to, the zombie beholder's insane, right? So it tried to make a Langolier to eat the timeline that it
super
died in
did.
or whatever.
Yep.
And then
It just made these.
and then it's like, oh well, it can't move. Why can't they move? Just fuck it. Just put legs on it, I guess. I don't know. Start eating the time stream. I don't know what they're doing. Just get out of here. Go into the fucking woods. I don't care anymore.
You're useless.
I'm gonna start carving out my new lair.
All right. Did we want to do any more? One more?
No, I don't want to do any more.
Okay, we're done.
That was fun. I
That
want
was
to end
fun.
on Langoliers.
All right, we'll end on Legoliers.
If you want to watch a really rickety horror movie,
Oh yeah,
like a psychological thriller,
that comes up way too often on the show.
go watch the
Dude,
Langoliers
I've
because
seen-
it came up a lot on Comic Pop. It came up all the time.
It did, yeah, it
and
did.
I thought that was so funny.
It is
but
funny.
it does come up
It
a lot
comes up a lot.
because it's a very cool concept.
It is in theory. It's a terrible movie, but I like that movie.
You know that a lot of Stephen King. It's a Stephen King story.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Stephen King stories have all of the characters from the Dark Tower in them, but just represented differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about this many times.
Yeah. In that movie, they do it. They do a big ol'. It's them. It's just pretty much just them.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
like it's
Well, it
just
makes
about as
sense.
close
It's
as
like
they
weird
get.
timey-wimey stuff going on. So like,
Timey-wimey stuff.
and they're like they're between the planes of existence or whatever.
Yeah, they're doing cool shit because it's them too.
So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's fun.
So the last table / generator is actually directly from the 5th edition Dungeon Master's Guide.
Cool.
It's the loot table / generator, or tables, I
I
should
have
say.
used that before. Yes.
I don't have the time, nor do I care to come with the minutia of every single person / what they have, especially on the fly. So I let the DMG tools do it for me, and they've done me pretty well so far.
Okay.
And this site, I'm not sure about the legality of it, but here we are. It's 5e.tools / loot gen. It's just blatantly the tables from the DMG.
Oh yeah.
I
okay.
cross-reference them. It also says here, based on the tables and rules from the Dungeon Master's Guide, page 133 to page 149.
Yeah, maybe don't go to this website though, because it's like full of ads and stuff. I don't
Really?
know.
Mine's... Oh, I have ad blocker.
Yeah, and if you don't,
Oh, no.
it's gonna be crazy up in there.
My context is skewed.
Yeah, slightly. Yeah.
Well, if you have ad blocker like me.
If you like, it's hard, right? Because like this game isn't necessarily meant to be free
Right.
by the company that makes it, and
True.
I think that's like, I mean, there are basic rules, but if you want to move it to like the DMG is the best book in the game.
Yeah.
And it's got really great stuff in it. So if you have a DMG, it's worth its weight in random tables, surely.
Yes, I
And-
would definitely say that.
And if you don't, I mean, like, and you want to do stuff like that, like this is kind of where you're left with what you're left with, right? It's like sort of like, I don't know if this is the cool website to exist or not. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I own the Dungeon Master's Guide, and so these tables are directly from it, and it's easier for me to click a button
Yeah,
than
for
anything
sure.
else. So, for example, here when I roll a treasure hoard for a monster group challenge rating 5 to 10, it's like bam, here we got 3,600 gold pieces in coinage, and it breaks it down for anyone who uses the smaller currencies. we got 200 copper pieces, 5,000 silver pieces, 2,300 gold pieces, and 80 platinum pieces. We have 50 gold piece gemstones times 8, so worth 400 gold pieces total. We have sardonyx, moonstone, onyx, jasper, quartz, citrine, and carnelian. And we have some magic items rolled off of table A. We have a potion of healing and a spell scroll, first level, fog cloud. It's just like, bam, there you go. For the bandits' den, I never planned on you guys invading. Bam.
Yeah,
right
here's
there.
their random treasure. Like,
Indeed.
You can put the pieces together on what they were up to based off this random shit if you feel like it. I'm not going to spend any more time on the story. Please find the plot.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want to just pick one of the tables from the DMG, table E, roll loot, bam. Potion of storm giant strength. That's what you find in that random satchel under that rock.
I rolled an ancient dragon. There's an option for ancient dragon's hoard. I rolled that.
Yeah, what do you got?
It's a little bit lengthy because it's an ancient dragon's hoard. But I've got a total of 634,638 gold pieces.
Oh, God.
Worth of coins.
You're not taking all that home.
No,
You don't got the baggage for that.
Tensor's floating disc, baby.
Nice.
Art objects and or gems as follows. So it's got like a breakdown of that total here.
Okay,
so
kind of like it did for the smaller horde.
Yeah, like I've got how many obsidian gemstones, I've got star rose quartz, I've got zircon, I've got topaz, we got blue sapphire. It's all split up. Fire opal, yellow sapphire, just tons of stuff. 25 gold pieces worth of art objects. Like it just lists what they are. There's a bottle stopper cork embossed with gold leaf and set with amethysts. Fine gold chain with fire opal, gold music box, platinum bracelet set with sapphire, 2 of those, embroidered silk and velvet mantle set with numerous moonstones, and the list goes on and on here for a while. Oh, a crude flute with a pleasing sound, a set of 7 candlesticks bearing a god's holy symbol, a spinning wheel, a crude flute with a pleasing sound. Again, the battle standard of one of the dragon's ancient foes.
And what's cool here is like
that's a little bit
realistically, the party really can't take most of this home. They just don't, outside of like exceptional circumstances, they only have so much that they can bear.
Yes.
So you can have them pick through this, and then you're looking at what you've generated in the horde, and then they can stumble upon this flute or stumble upon this banner. They won't necessarily find it all. But
Right.
This gives you everything you need to give your players the realistic experience of picking through a horde,
Right. Like dealing with an ancient red dragon, you're going to be fairly powerful, so you might have a way to get a lot of it out of there, but like there's no way you can take everything for yourselves, right? Like it's not possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to figure that out. Maybe the local town is going to like you got to spend time getting all that shit out of there. Yeah, very cool that you can just generate that on the spot though.
So I use that one. Lastly, I will say that if you are a DM that really loves utilizing random tables into your prep/DM style, a place I like to peruse is there's a subreddit. If Reddit's still kicking after all the stuff that's been going on lately, it probably will
Reddit.
be. It probably will be.
Reddit in peace.
But there's a subreddit that I like to peruse called D100, and it's a subreddit dedicated to the creation and sharing of D100 lists of all kinds for D&D and other TTRPGs
Very cool.
as well.
Very cool.
That's my last bit, but you said you had a thing that you do for your random D&D shenanigans.
Yeah, one time I Googled like on the fly because I wasn't expecting random shit to happen, but I was like, oh, there should be loot here, and I didn't prep any, but let me go find some like cool magic items. So I'll just like Google magic item generator, like low level, and pull up like whatever comes up real quick. Like boom, boom, I'm in, I do the thing, I'm out. But if I have source books, what I like to do is sort of roll like a relevant dice to give me an idea of where randomly in the book to kind of open up. Like if I need a monster and I need one like right now, like there should be a monster here. I'll open up the book with like a D100. I'll be like, okay, let's go to page like 84. And then the very next creature that has an applicable CR, like forward from that moment,
from that page,
I will implement that monster.
Oh, okay, that is really random. That's like 2 levels of randomness.
Yeah, I'll try to make it like that. Like I don't really know what to do.
Well,
here.
Shit, do we have a monster manual? Where's our monster manual?
There is a monster manual, and it's not within arm's reach. I don't want to open up my my fancy one back there.
Fair enough.
But like, let's say I go to like roll this random number. Also, I'm secretly rolling these dice while my players are like, "What the fuck's he doing?" You know?
Yeah,
Like,
seriously.
it adds
That's
another
fun.
element of.
It's very fun.
Yeah. I'm a tricky little guy back there behind the DM screen. So I got a 48. So I might go halfway into the monster manual and be like, okay, what do we got next?
And you're looking for like, I don't know, somewhere between a CR 3 to 5 creature.
Yeah,
right?
or
then
like
you just leaf through.
maybe I'll be like, okay, well, like M's halfway through the alphabet, so maybe I'll use a manticore, and then I can pull it up real quick. And
Okay.
yeah, I can kind of scale this. Like, I'll look at its damage output real quick and be like, yeah, let's tweak a little bit to make this a little more balanced for the party I have, and then go from there.
For sure.
Yeah, something like that. Like, for like, some orcs showing up is never like a bad thing. So let's have some orcs show up. Like, I implement some randomness like that.
Yeah.
But that's a kind of against the spirit. That's like tapping my own knowledge. It's not really. It's kind of against the spirit of what we're doing here with the table.
Oh yeah,
right?
I see what you mean. But like
Yeah.
the way that you're rolling for book pages, I find really cool. I've never heard of anyone doing that, and that's really cool.
Yeah, I've done that a couple.
What gave you that
times.
idea? Did it just hit you one day? You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll just roll a random page.
Yeah, it's
That's
like, well, how do I randomize looking in there right now? Like, well, we use dice for. Why not just treat the pages like the D100? You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
Like,
Yeah.
and put the table on the pages. You know what I'm getting at.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll do shit like that. I'll do like I don't know what else. What other randoms? Okay, so D&D had like a third party make cards for them for a bunch of stuff, and
Yeah.
that is a money thing too. But you can get the cards of magic items and just shuffle them and draw off the top.
yeah,
you know, like
yeah,
that,
there you go.
there's that too.
That's classic. I like that.
But having them all on a table to roll, I'm sure that table exists, like no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere in the
Yeah.
DMG or whatever
Yeah,
it
it
may
does.
be.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, being familiar with the content of the game, at least the very basic content, like the monster manual, the DMG, and the PHB, you can get away. I mean, there's like ways you can implement those pages into randomness that you can insert into your game too. So
Yeah.
those are the kinds of things I'm looking to do on the fly. Otherwise, like names and stuff, like fantasy name generator, obviously that's now implemented in D&D Beyond. They've like integrated.
Yeah.
There's there's different kinds of name generators out there too. Like
There used to be a lot more until fantasy name generators like monopolized the market somehow. I don't know how they managed that.
yeah,
It's my
well,
least favorite name generator, and it just took over everything.
I hear that from lots of different people, that use it. So,
Yeah.
but you can kind of get a vibe for it if you're familiar with fantasy reading and stuff, and sort of make a medieval sounding name if that's what you're going for, or like, I like to use the names of like athletes because a lot of the people that come to my table don't watch sports.
Yeah.
And if they do, I know which sport they watch, and I avoid that. Right. So
Right.
I like using hockey players. Like I've done that a whole bunch because they have like names from Sweden and names from Canada, or French Canada, and so they're just like
Exotic
foreign
enough. Yeah,
sounding to be like, oh, it sounds kind of familiar, but kind of just like when they use someone with a British accent in the movie,
Mhm.
they like that's in like Star Wars. They'll use someone with a British accent because they want them to sound like
A little
different.
different. Yeah.
yeah, just like I don't know, it's weird, but it's a thing. I'll use tricks like that, just like tricks I know from like cinema or whatever they're doing over there to make things feel random.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll just I like this hockey player right now, and nobody knows them. That's kind of, I'll give him this random name, like his name's Linus Olmark or something like that. Or I'll change
that is fitting enough.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll
I
change a
believe that,
little
yeah.
portion of it, like I'll switch the names around.
Oh
Or,
yeah,
like,
I've seen you do that. I've seen where you just
Yeah.
make the last name the first name and the first name the last name.
yeah, or something like that. I'll chop up the syllables and like move them around and,
There we
and
go.
make it crazy. So
Nice.
that's how I do it with a little pen and paper real quick. Like, does that sound good? Then it's probably fine.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, you ready for a long rest?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the long rest. This is the part of the show where we are going to shout out patrons. You've waited, and here it is. So thank you guys for your patience. We are going to shout you out now. Get ready. We've got Corey Bergen,
Thank you, Corey.
the Frozen Fabler,
Thank you, Frozen Fabler.
annual subscriber,
Annual subscriber.
Sean Walsh,
Thank you, Sean.
Sean, thank you. And also, we got Valkyrie Brown.
Thank you, Valkyrie Brown.
We're going to give you a thank you, Valkyrie. And a woo. SD.
Thank you, SD.
SDS. A
SDS.
fan of Seb. That's what their username is
fan
now.
of
But
Seb?
we know who you are, SD. You leave lots of really nice YouTube comments.
Indeed. Thank you.
Woo. We got Ohan Bogosian. Bogosian?
Thank you, Ohan.
Thanks, Ohan. We got Jeremy Blackburn.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy Blackburn. Welcome home. Lock Dannon.
Thank you, Lock Dannon.
Thanks, Lock Dannon. Ray Redgrave.
Thank you, Ray.
Cool name, Ray Redgrave. Lance Corbin.
Thank you, Lance.
Randall Vance.
Thank you, Randall.
Woo. Timothy Malone. Malin? Timothy Malin.
Thank you, Timothy.
Thank you, Tim.
My dad's name is Timothy.
Not Timothy Malin, though.
No.
That'd be weird.
It would be
That's
weird.
not your name.
No.
The Happy Turtle.
Thank you, Happy Turtle.
Happy Turtle.
Annual subscriber.
Travis S.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you, Travis. The Cedar Mantis.
Thank you, Cedar Mantis. Annual subscriber.
Nick Pater.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, Nick Pater. The Novice DM, the Novice Bard.
Thank you, the Novice DM, the Novice Bard.
Woo. Oh, no, my bad. It's not a woo.
It's not a woo?
Thank you, the Novice DM.
Thank you.
I hope you guys are enjoying your bonus content. Thanks so much for participating in the polls, being interactive with us on there. We got cool stuff. I know we've been talking about a lot of stuff for a long time, but a lot of the stuff is hard to make, so it's taken a little bit of time, like I just said. So thanks for being patient. There will be new content soon, and we really appreciate everybody. In the meantime, there is early episodes of this show that are ad-free that you can always get. You have access to episode notes and all kinds of stuff, like these polls that help suggest these episodes. But we really just want to say thank you. Your contributions to this show not only keep it going, but make a big difference in our lives. And we can't say thank you enough.
Yeah,
Really
we
appreciate it.
super appreciate it.
You've been our steady ride or die. We've changed networks and had advertisers come and go, and it's always you guys. We can always count on you. So thank you so much. Feel free, anybody, to Will, it's the Dungeoncast mailbag. Let me go get some mail.
Dungeoncast mailbag.
I'm gonna be right back.
What's Blue's Clues? Isn't there a song for the mail?
Yeah.
I don't know it. What is it?
Here's the mail. It never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do this on air. Okay. I'm back.
All right, we got a package.
We got a package.
We got a package.
And a letter.
And a letter. Which I like both those things.
And we got a letter also, like, separate from the package.
So
there
the
was,
package
like,
has a letter, and
Yeah.
we received a letter.
We're going to open the package first because I already opened it and showed Will.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
I remember this really freaking awesome looking book.
Raven of the Scythe fantasy role-playing game. We'll put this out on display for next episode because I forgot to do it this episode. I just remembered we had mail to read. Dear Dungeoncast, hello, my name is James Embry. A few years back, I advertised on one of your episodes. It was the one about Death Knights, about Kickstarter, and I was working for a game called Raven of the Scythe. It failed, but while I didn't get money I was looking for from the Kickstarter, I did get enough positive attention and a couple of fans who reached out to me and really seemed to like my game, and that was enough to motivate me to not abandon the project. It just took a while. So what you're holding is the second edition Raven of the Scythe. While I'm sure the game isn't perfect, I worked really hard to make the most polished and professional product I could given my limited resources. It is a slightly dark fantasy role-playing game that sort of tones down the high fantasy of games like D&D and Pathfinder without really getting into the grim dark territory. Sometimes I call it dim dark. That's cool. In the game, you play as mostly normal people who have figured out how to deal with fantastic creatures and situations while knowing full well that your character is very much vulnerable and killable. That isn't to say that you don't have options and abilities of your own, from special abilities, magic items, or magic. It's just that none of that changes the fact that most people will only be able to survive 1 or 2 hits before they go down. I just wanted to send you guys this as a way of saying thank you for letting me advertise on your show all those years ago. I was in the Navy at the time and not really in a good place. Mental health is pretty abysmal in the military. And your guys' show is one of the things that I always look forward to, and it kind of helped me get through those last couple of years before my enlistment was over, and I really can't thank you enough for that. Well, that's great to hear. Thanks. Thanks, James, for saying that. If you do take a look at our Raven of the Scythe, I really hope you like it. Will's been leafing through it actually quite a bit.
Yes, I have.
Because it sounds a lot like Unhollowed in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah,
to
it
me.
does. Very unhallowed, which
working
I will
on.
be
Yeah.
probably leafing through this book for some inspiration. It also reminds me of a Grimmer Dungeon Crawl Classics.
Oh yeah,
It's
cool.
got that old school style.
I like Dungeon Crawl Classics. We actually played some of that recently. I'll put that on Patreon soon. If you want to give it a shout out on your show or something, that would be great. But if you would like to get in touch with me for any reason, I'll skip all that stuff. But we'll keep that in mind, James. I just want to
Indeed.
say thank you again. Keep up the good work. And I still get very excited every time I see a new episode drop. Very respectfully, James. Well, that
Thank
was
you,
great,
James.
James. Thanks. And we'll definitely be reaching out to you
Yeah, I
sometime in
appreciate the
future.
beautiful book and the kind words. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
it is fantastic. We'll put it on display for next episode, so keep an eye out for that. And now I'm opening a letter from Jeffrey Aston. Let me get in. Let me get in there. Come on. Okay, here we go. Oh, hell yeah! I love this.
What is this?
It's a class of 2023. Jeff, Meridian High School.
Hey, congratulations!
Hey,
Jeff.
nice. Congratulations. Jeff plans to serve a full-time mission for I don't know if I should be reading.
Let me see. What is this? No, I don't think we want to read this.
I don't think we do, but hey, James, good luck on your trip, man. That's going to be awesome.
And on your mission as well.
Yeah, we appreciate this, man. It's cool. That's a cool thing. That's new. Maybe I should yeah. That's that's a cool picture.
Very unexpected.
Yeah, I'm not expecting that at all.
Thank you, Jeff.
That's cool. Thanks. So that's our Dungeoncast mailbag. So let me get into the rest of this this long rest stuff so we can close it out here. We already talked about Patreon. We already did our shout outs. Please leave us an Apple Podcast, Spotify review. Next episode, I'm going to be reading some of those that we got in. So thank you guys very much for doing that. And we have a merch store. Apparently, us not talking about it doesn't matter because you guys find it anyway. I've been seeing people going in and buying stuff.
It's so true. Thank you,
hey,
guys.
cool. Thanks, guys. It's
We
just
worked really hard on the merch store. So
Yeah.
it's nice when people buy things from it.
yeah, it's sort of just Will did a lot of like stuff, like making the stock stuff on there look nice with our art on it. So it just kind of passively sits there. So go there anytime and check out what we've got. Tell somebody about the show. That's super helpful. Also, you can follow us on like Discord. We got a Twitter, and stuff like that. So you can go there and interact with us a little more. We're pretty active on Discord, fairly so. And we are partnered with Diversity Saves. Diversity Saves is a 501c3 nonprofit organization created by a collection of BIPOC and LGBTQ plus members of the TTRPG community who are committed to the promotion and uplifting of marginalized communities in the tabletop role-playing game industry through promotion, education, and distribution of grants to help fund new projects led by marginalized creators. I had fun following your Instagram account for Juneteenth. I think the stuff you guys are doing over there is really cool. And I would highly recommend you guys, if you're looking for a good cause to support, this is definitely one of them. So go and drop some cash on them and help some people out that I think could really use a bigger voice in the TTRPG space. I think that's it. I think beyond that, we can call it a game.
Let's call it a game.
All right.
We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
The Dungeoncast.